Now, last year, the internet and YouTube went crazy when Haley Van Lith went into the transfer portal, as it was just amazing that such a great guard was out there and available to put on your team. Normally, the transfer portal is for players that have underachieved and they feel a new environment will make all the difference, as it's that coach and the way they're playing them, or it's a player that hasn't gotten playing time and they want to go somewhere else to give me that playing time, or potentially they're on a dog of a team and are a lone superstar and say, man, it would be nice to go play on a team with a lot more talent. And that is why the internet melted last year when HVL announced she was transferring, as she was a superstar player on a really good team. And what is going on here? Well, we have that same situation. Well, sort of. Like, it's not the, it doesn't have the question of why is she leaving, no doubt, but she is just as good of a player, if not a better point guard than HVL. And that is Kaitlyn Chen, who is now currently playing for Princeton. However, the reason for Chen transferring is pretty straightforward. The Ivy League does not allow graduate students to play, so she basically missed out on a year due to COVID when the season was canceled, but she has now completed her 4 years and will look to transfer to do her master's someplace else. And just to be clear, I am not being hyperbolic when I say that she is as good as HVL. If you look at their numbers, they're very similar this year. So HVL's gone for 12 points, 2.4 rebounds, 3.9 assists, 1.3 steals, 2.17 turnovers, shoots 40% from the field and 37% from three-point land. Chen averages 15 points, 3.4 rebounds, 4.8 assists, 1.2 steals per game, 2.8 turnovers, and shoots 48% from the field and 34% from three-point land. So their numbers are very similar, and then you'll probably say, hey, she's been beating up on Ivy League girls while Haley's been playing in the SEC, one of the best conferences in women's basketball. But if you are not aware, you should take a closer look at Princeton, as they play good basketball. They've been to the last two tournaments, beating Kentucky and NC State. So they're not just a make the tournament one and done. They are a good team. In Charlie Cream's bracketology, he currently has them in Albany 2 region at the number 9 seed, matching up against Ole Miss. It's early, I know, but if they were able to get through that, well, first of all, I'd like to see that matchup versus Ole Miss. And then after that, if they got through that, then it would be Ohio State, which would be a lot of fun. As like I said, Princeton can play, and if you have any doubt, Ohio State got drilled by UCLA on their home court. Ohio State made a bit of a run in the fourth quarter to make it look more respectable, but during that game, UCLA had it rolling. And I mention this because Princeton played UCLA early in the season. I think it was UCLA's third game, and they gave them a heck of a fright at Pauley Pavilion, going down by 3 points. They missed a chance to take it into overtime as they messed up the out-of-bounds play, but Chen was unstoppable in the fourth quarter, or really kept Princeton in the game as they just kept on going back to her. She more than held her own against Osborne, going for 24 points on 9 of 19 shooting, 3 for 6 from the three-point line. Osborne got hers as well, going for 21 points on 6 of 14 shooting and 2 for 4 from three-point land. But I think overall you get my point. Kaitlyn Chen can play. She's a baller, and she will be on the market after the season. So where is she going? Well, that's the interesting thing. There seems to be a lot of speculation that UConn is in the running for her services or to sign her. According to the CT Insider, the Huskies have expressed interest in Chen, and former UConn player, now Princeton coach Carla Berube, has spoken to Gino Auriemma about Chen and her game. I think Hamilton Neal has also said that UConn is interested and it would be a great signing for UConn. I really just do not get this. I don't understand it because UConn already is loaded at guard. So they've got Paige Beckers, obviously, Ashlyn Shade, KK Arnold. Fudd will be back in theory. They've got Ali Zabel coming in. They've got Betancourt as well. Not to mention, we still don't know what Mule's going to do. Supposedly, she's going to announce her decision pretty soon. So even if Mule goes, I still don't see where she fits into this team and why she would go there. Just what they've pointed out in this article is that was the same thing you could have said with Lou Lopez Seneschal, as they were loaded at guard, and look what happened. They had all the injuries, like Beckers went down, and then Fudd had her issues, and she was the savior. But still, why would you transfer to UConn and on the hope that everybody else is just going to drop like flies? Now, Chen is from California, and she says that she's had interest from California schools as well as teams they've played on her schedule. So she's being a bit cryptic with all this, which you would expect. In the article I read, it said she's doing her thesis on sports meritocracy. So I don't know if one of these schools has an unbelievable sports grad program or not, but maybe that's a clue. I've heard some of the message boards say that UCLA has interest, USC, as well as Stanford and Cal. So it's anybody's call where she's going to go. If I was looking at it from a pure basketball fit, I would say Stanford's the best option. And here's why. If Cameron Brink comes back, and there's speculation now, like Cameron Brink at her senior day said, I haven't made my decision yet, so I don't know what that means. Goodness help the Lakers if she returns to Stanford. I feel bad for the Sparks, not the Lakers, as they would have really lost out on this. But Brink returns to Stanford, then I would think that Chen would be a good fit with Stanford. I don't know if that'll happen or not, but that just seems like a nice little fit, in my opinion. Putting Chen with Brink and Kiki Arioffen, as well as their sophomores getting a bit more seasoning, that would be a really strong and interesting team to go into the ACC with next year. But any team just looking for a solid point guard just has to be interested, as that is what she is. She's just a solid player that can hold her own on both ends of the floor. And point guard position is so key to your team and how you control it. Like watching the UCLA game, she was good on their possessions. They were trying to slow the clock down at times and really work it to maximize their possessions. And I thought she runs the team really, really well. And in a lot of ways, I think that sort of explains why UConn is interested in her, as they like good players, and she is just a really good player. And I think their theory is you can never have enough good players, and why not add another one? But part of me thinks it would be a waste for her to go to UConn, just because she needs to go somewhere where she's playing a lot, because it's just wasted. If she doesn't get a lot of time at UConn, it's just wasted talent on the bench, in my opinion. So part of me hopes sort of she goes to Stanford or somewhere back in California where she will get a lot of playing time. Leave your thoughts, comments below. Thanks for watching. Good night.